progress.
So do we want to send them a letter?
She said she will. Yes, she will. Now that we've made that motion, she'll make them aware of it.
Okay.
Thank you, Eileen. Okay, so let's take a roll call, which I should have done first, of who is here. Commissioner Kent Moffett.
Here.
Commissioner Indra Dett.
Here.
Commissioner Rob Shim. Commissioner Sarah Walensky. Commissioner Ed Laturk. And Associate Commissioner Sadie Backstrom. And for the record, I am Vice Chairman Bill Boyven. I will be chairing tonight in the absence of Larry Cohen. Okay, first up on the agenda is public comments. Is there anyone here for something not on the agenda tonight? Is there anyone online for something not on the agenda tonight? It does not look like it. It also looks like I got bumped off of my meeting. Oh, God. Okay, so there is no public comment this evening. Next up is the approval of minutes. The first one is November 13th, 2025. Do we have any comments on that minutes that needed correction or discussion? If not, then can I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 13th, 2025?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? I am going to abstain. I was not at that meeting. So that is 501. Next, we have approval of minutes of December 11th, 2025. Same questions, any comments or corrections needed? I'm not aware of any myself. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Abstain.
Okay, that is another 501 with an abstention. All right, now we move on to item number 4. It's a request for determination of applicability, 37 Freeport Drive by Zachary App, and that is to remove some trees from the property. Please come up and let me read this notice of this public meeting before we go any further. Notice is hereby given that the Town of Burlington Conservation Commission is holding a public meeting on Thursday, January 8th, 6:30 p.m. As a courtesy to the public, the meeting will also be accessible virtually via WebEx. See the agenda on the town webpage, calendar, or email conservation@burlington.org for the link. At this meeting, the Conservation Commission will act upon a request for determination of applicability filed by Zachary App for the removal of 9 trees from the riverfront area in the 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands at 37 Freeport Drive in Burlington, Mass., and will thereafter issue a determination of applicability. The application is being heard pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 31, Section 40, and Burlington Bylaw Article 14. A copy of the application can be obtained by emailing conservation@burlington.org. With all that said, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you
Good evening.
please both introduce yourself for the record?
Sorry,
Zachary App.
I will. Sorry about that.
I'm Jim Harrison, the resident.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a discussion about the removal of trees on the property.
Come on, where are you?
Eileen or Lucy, do you want to have any, well, you guys can actually start if you want to make a statement or describe what the project is. That's the way we normally go, so feel free.
Yeah. Good evening. Just like to start by saying thank you to the commission for hearing our case, and I've been communicating with Lucy. She's been very helpful facilitating this quickly for us. So to introduce myself, my name is Zachary App. I'm a certified arborist through the Mass Arborist Association as well as the ISA. I'm here on behalf of my company, Northern Boston Tree Service, based in the town of Arlington, and with my client, Jim Harrison, the property owner at 37 Freeport Drive. So we requested approval to remove 9 trees that we identified were dead, and they were located along the property boundaries with Jim's property. So they're in the conservation area, but just at the edge of the property boundary. The work that my team performed involved the removal of dead hazardous trees only. We did not remove any live trees. These trees were biologically non-functional and pose a documented risk to nearby residences. Lucy came to the property prior to us starting the work to see them as well, and she confirmed that they were dead. At the Commission's request, wildlife snags were retained, which preserves the ecological value of the standing dead trees. So from an arboricultural and ecological standpoint, this satisfies mitigation requirements. Because no live trees were removed, there was no loss of canopy, habitat, or forest function. Requiring live tree replacement in this context exceeds standard mitigation practice and introduces future conflict and disturbance in the buffer. So also I'd like to mention, talk a little bit about natural regeneration, which is the preferred method of forest renewal in intact, healthy woodland systems. The conservation requested that we plant new trees. We did leave the snags, but you want us to plant trees. However, the conservation area in question already contains a dense, self-sustaining stand of native vegetation, and allowing natural regeneration avoids unnecessary soil disturbances and reduces the risk of planting failure due to shade competition, and also preserves the root system, the fibrous root system, and understory plants. Forest planting within a closed canopy buffer can be counterproductive and may require continued human intervention, which runs counter to the goal of minimizing disturbance within this protected area. So we therefore respectfully request that the commission recognize snag retention and natural regeneration as full and appropriate mitigation and waive the replacement planting requirement.
Okay, thank you. We are going to discuss that right now.
Okay.
Okay, Lucy, you want to report what you saw before they cut?
Yes. So I went out and met with Zachary on, obviously mid-December. It was shortly after our December meeting, and they were looking to take down all these trees. I can confirm that these were the deadest trees I've ever seen. It was one of those situations where you walked up and you're like, oh, that's for sure dead. That's spooky movie dead. And you can even see it in the pictures of these now snags, just how dry, dead, standing wood they were. So normally in a situation like this, if it were a couple of trees, we would administratively approve it, but because it was 9 and so close to the riverfront, we came to an agreement that they would, if they had filed an RDA with us and we had it in our hands, we would say, okay, go for it, and we'll do it retroactively from there. Because we were a month out from a meeting at that point. So as far as I'm concerned, these trees were very dead. I wasn't concerned about them coming down at all. I was more concerned about them coming down on their own than I was about them coming down by someone else's hand. I was really delighted with the fact that almost all or all of them were left with snags,
Yep.
which does have a great ecological benefit as is stated. So overall, I feel okay about this.
What I pay?
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the commissioners? On to my right, anybody have any comments?
Is it shady, the whole area? That's
There's a significant tree there.
Are you in the meeting? Because Lucy's sharing the...
Oh, it's hard to see. It's hard.
Oh, she's also got a screen.
I'm not in the meeting, actually. I was blind on the screens.
Trees looks bad.
So it's pretty shady, and it's included that like a new tree would arrive.
Oh, the ones that were cut, yeah.
That was what it sounded like. It's hard to tell from winter trees right now, but there were many trees there.
Yeah.
That's all I know to be true.
Winterlot pines? Well, actually, no. What did you take down, Zachary? Nice. Yes.
Bingo, very nice.
I think also his statement is there was no net loss of canopy because there was no canopy from these dead trees. But
What?
Yeah.
I was just asking, what sorts of trees did you take?
It was a mix, some eastern white pine and some oak. But a lot of these trees actually had no crown structure at all, so it was impossible to tell what species of tree they were. It was just, yeah.
I don't have any concerns.
Anybody on the right have any concerns? One question I had, we noticed that one of the trees, all of the bark had been removed, and I wasn't sure whether that was just what happened, or
Yeah.
it was Dutch elm disease, that you remove the bark in order to prevent it from spreading.
Yeah, once the bark is removed, once the tree dies, the bark will fall off the tree, and then the vascular system really no longer can function
Okay.
properly. So when you see a tree that has no bark on it, that's a dead tree. It's not.
It just wasn't clear to me whether it had been removed and set in this little pile, or it did it on its own, so.
Are you referring to a specific tree in the photo, or just in general?
There was one specific tree, but it seemed like the bark had been set in a pile, and I didn't know if that was being removed for the prevention of
Oh,
disease in
that-
some fashion.
I think that was the tree near the near the driveway, and
Yeah.
that actually fell off after we had finished the work.
Okay.
Because it was left as part of the snag, and then it just must
Yeah.
have, windy day.
I think the wind blew it over.
Yeah, yeah.
Blew it
Okay,
off.
and I have no problem with that. I was just curious if the reasoning was,
Yeah.
because there was, typically if it's Dutch elm disease, you do remove the bark
Yeah.
after you cut the snag, leave the snag. Okay, so that wasn't it.
Just to clarify, to his point, what's the, are you, because you left the snags, is the replacement trees out? Or is that,
Is the what, sorry?
like in the order of conditions, it says that, or there's like replacement trees or something?
Well, that's what we're going to discuss right now.
We haven't discussed it yet.
We're going to discuss it
They
right
were
now.
getting ahead of themselves.
It was suggested in the draft
The draft.
that 6 replacement trees were planted and for the 9 that were removed. But it's a valid point that you make, that the 9 trees offered no cover whatsoever in their existing condition. It was a natural sequence that caused them to die, and as you're suggesting, a natural sequence will replace whatever that area can support.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with not requiring planting. Anyone have a discussion of that?
I agree with you.
Doesn't seem like these are going to impact what was existing as far as benefit to the resource area.
Right, because we didn't remove any live trees that were
Right.
already dead.
Okay. Anything else? Eileen, do you have, okay with that?
Well, we haven't actually got to the decision yet.
Right.
But, no, I mean, you all make a reasonable point there. Usually you do like to, provide, improve the function along a stream bank, but I see your point. It's up to the commission.
Okay, well, we do have a draft of a decision that we will go over now. Yes?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What happens if we don't do anything, or if they would not have come here, and the tree just decayed and then fall? What do we do that time?
I mean, if it fell into the resource area, we would do nothing. That's a natural event. But they were threatening to fall towards the house. This is very close. The river is very close to the house here.
Yes.
So, I mean, that was the
Yeah, just
rationale
wanted
for
to-
removing the dead trees.
All right, I don't know who can see it, but Lucy is actually sharing oh, why don't you read it? I'm sorry, it's your thing.
Yep, I can do it.
I was just automatically taking over there, sorry.
I know, and I was letting you. It was totally normal for me. Yeah, so we do have a draft document that was sent out to both the commission and the applicant. It's pretty short and sweet. It's only 2 whole pages to go through, so we're going to do great things here. So this project is described as the cutting of 9 trees at 37 Freeport Drive within the inner riverfront area and the 100-foot buffered zoned bank. This just describes the jurisdictional areas here, which are the stream right there and the regulated areas around it under both the state and local bylaws. We have in other findings, we just are describing why this was allowed without the permit, why it's retroactive. We specify that we are not delineating any sort of resource areas here for the purpose of filing. We made no finding as to exact boundaries of the wetland resource areas. We also said that we did not make any exact findings to the property lines in this case. These trees are down, these people are here about it. We also are going to need to vote to waive the 20-foot no disturb.
Yes, yes.
So this document says that the commission voted to, or will ideally vote to issue a negative determination with these conditions below. It says this decision is only for this work as described. The work is described as the 9 tree removals. Removal of any other tree will require another approval or permit from the commission or the office. For tree trimming and removals that are not feasible to do by hand, machinery such as a bucket truck or crane shall be located in the driveway or on the lawn, so don't put it in the stream. That's kind of the only other place they could put it if they didn't put it in the lawn or the driveway. This is the condition about native tree planting, which we are striking. Trees on the bank shall be and were cut so that a snag, a portion of a tree or stump remains. As much of the material shall be left as deemed safe by the supervising arborist. Thank you so much for doing that. These are all standard conditions that live in our determinations that are no longer applicable at this point. Just to say, or this one is at least, oh, I apologize, I'm misspeaking. This just says no debris, sediment, lawn clippings, and landscape materials shall not be dumped into the wetlands or the stream. If it does go in there, please get it out. You may not use pesticides, herbicides, fungicides within wetlands or within 100 feet of wetlands or a stream unless otherwise approved. You can use fertilizer if it is a slow-release phosphorus-free fertilizer. This just gave us permission to check on the project that is now done, and any non-compliance with this would be a violation. But that is not happening. So it should be good.
Are you all right with that as we presented it?
Yep, so just to confirm, you're going to strike the
Yes.
planting requirement?
Yes.
Even
Okay.
delete it like this. There it goes.
Excellent.
Do you have any questions?
Okay, since this work was actually done right next to the stream within the no disturb area, we do need to vote on a waiver of the do not disturb disturbance. Do you have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, the waiver was voted on, 600. Can I have a motion to approve the request for determination of applicability for the project at 37 Freeport Drive?
Can I just add
Yes.
to that?
Yeah.
Alicia was reminding us, she's the, what do you know, what's her title again?
Circuit rider.
Thank you. The circuit rider for DEP. She was saying we should be just reminding our commissioners that you're actually voting, to vote to check a certain box. So you're actually voting that this will be a negative determination, and we're proposing box 2. I can't remember how to say that properly. I'll figure that out after the next time, which is basically saying that it is work in the resource area, but you are determining that it does not require the submission of a notice of intent. So negative determination, box 2.
Box
Can we
2.
just remember to
Okay.
maybe officially, formally vote that?
Let me rephrase the request for a motion. Can we have a motion to approve a negative request for determination of applicability for box 2?
So this is straight.
Yeah.
All in favor? All right,
Sure it's right.
that was approved.
Oh, yeah, we can come back.
Come back for the sign.
See what that's all about.
Riverfront.
We're all set, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, I really
Good night.
appreciate it.
Thanks for all the cooperation.
Oh, weird.
Since we proposed no planting, that's why I asked the question. It has to be, clear
Yep.
for everybody.
Okay, next on our agenda is item 5, continued public hearing for an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation at 85 Wilmington Road, Mick Gandhi, the BDP number 122728.
Thank you, officially.
Yes, no, thank you for waiting for that.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You're welcome, bye.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Tebow. I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting, and I am the representative for Mick Gandhi, the applicant. A colleague of mine was actually with you guys at the last meeting in December. I was away on vacation, so you were working with Anthony G. from my office. So this is the second meeting. So just as a quick recap, Anthony was here with you guys on December 11th. At that time, we had actually just had our site walk with the commission out there after we had revised the flag. We had come to the meeting and reported on the changes, but at that time, we still had to have the surveyor go back out and pick up the new flag, make a couple revisions to the site plans. So we presented on our progress, but we continued the meeting out to tonight to allow us to get this final site plan in. And there was 4 things we needed to put on it. The first is, as we discussed at the last meeting, between wetland flags A15 and A16, so that was the bordering vegetated wetland on the eastern side of the property. We added 1 flag between those 2 to bump the line up a little bit. We had our surveyor go out there and shoot that flag, add it to the plans, and then update the buffer zones accordingly. Also, when the ANRAD was first filed, there was an inconsistency between the buffer zones. One wetland line showed a 40-foot buffer, one showed a 50. So we made that consistent across the board. We added a note to the plans that the wetland delineation was done by Goddard Consulting on November 12th of 2024. That's in the notes description just to memorialize when it was done. And then the original ANRAD plan was submitted by an engineer. We had that revised to be stamped by our PLS, and so that was submitted. So those were the 4 things we were asked to do. I just brought in the hard copy. The digital was submitted about a week ago. And then Eileen was kind enough to send over a draft ORAD today for us, so I was able to take a look at that during the day. Everything looked good to us, so we're here if you have any final questions, and otherwise we thank you for your time.
Okay. And I noticed Mr. Gandhi is online watching.
Yep.
Staff.
We have nothing to add. It was a pretty simple delineation. Some of you were out there with us when we went to check. John Keeley actually assisted us with that one. And as Andrew explained, there were some very minor changes to be made, all of which happened very smoothly. So we have nothing to add we're happy with the delineation as tweaked very slightly.
Okay. Do we have any comments on the delineation as was slightly modified and presented tonight? On the right? On the left? Nope. Okay.
Since you're sharing, do you want to just share the ORAD? We'll just, there is an ORAD, there's official wording, so would you like us to go through it?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm just waiting. Well, I have it in front of me too, I'm sorry.
Can you refresh what ORAD stands for?
ORAD is,
Order of resource area.
I couldn't remember the O was.
Order.
Order.
I think what the O is for.
Order of resource area delineation, thank you.
Okay. I kept
That's
having,
the end
official
of
kept popping into my head for the O.
ANRAD, which is the abbreviated Notice of Resource Area
Right.
delineation. Thank you.
Okay.
I do have it in front of me, so I can also just read it here. Okay. Beginning part is all the usual. We're going through who the applicant is and where the project is located. In this case, it is an ANRAD, as we have just discussed. Goddard Consulting flagged wetlands. In this case, it was bordering the purpose of the ANRAD was for the approval of boundaries of wetland resource areas bordering vegetated wetland occurring within the property under the Wetlands Protection Act and Burlington Wetland Bylaw, and isolated wetlands protected under the Wetlands Bylaw only. It was submitted in December. We went out and took a look at it, as we have explained. The reference documents are both the ANRAD plan itself and the Wetland Border Report. So the findings are that the Conservation Commission approves all flag locations depicted on the reference plans. We find that the delineation of the bordering vegetated wetland identified by flags A9 to A35, including revised flag A15-1 as adjusted by the Commission, represents the I think I'll just change that wording, represents the wetland to the property line as shown on the approved plan. No, it does mean representing. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself there. As shown on the property line to be an accurate representation of a BVW on a parcel under WPA and Wetlands Bylaw. And then the Commission finds that the delineation of the isolated wetland defined by flags B1 to B13, shown in the approved plan to be an accurate representation of an isolated wetland under Burlington Wetland Bylaw. The Commission finds there are no other wetland resources on the parcel regulated under either the WPA or the bylaw. Let me just clarify that we just, for prudence, we just officially approved flags A9 to A15 because the first few flags were actually off the property.
That was my question.
So we didn't want for you to be approving something on somebody else. I hope that's okay with you, but we didn't want to formally approve something that's not on Mr. Gandhi's.
Absolutely. When we're delineating, we typically go a couple flags off-site just to make sure we get everything, but we can only confirm what's on site, and that's all we need.
From just looking at it, it looked about right though. The Commission, so then the decision is that the Commission hereby determines that the boundaries described on the reference plan represents an accurate delineation under the 310 CMR 10 and Article 14 of the Burlington Bylaws. Prior to filing a notice of intent, all flags identifying relevant resource areas should be rehung in the field.
Okay, so a notice of intent will be required for any work actually done. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay, good.
Correct. And now we know exactly where the buffers are, so we'll make sure of it.
Now you know where you can work. Okay, very good. You answered my question as to what happened to flags A1 to 8, and now I know. Do we have any comments on this from the right? Left? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the abbreviated notice of resource, oh no, we have to issue the ORAD. We're not approving the abbreviated, we're issuing the ORAD.
Right,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, adopting the findings of the ORAD, that's probably a good
Okay.
point there.
Can I have a motion to adopt the findings of the order of resource area delineation for the property at 85 Wilmington Road?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? That is 600. And can I then have a motion to approve the order of resource area delineation for the property at 85 Wilmington Road?
Second.
Second.
All in favor? 600.
Did you approve it under the bylaw? Was that part of your first thing? It may have been, I'm
I
sorry.
did not say under the bylaw.
Sorry.
So
Why don't you just do that for completeness?
for, okay. So we're talking about the
Just to
findings.
explain why I'm just clarifying this. Just in case anybody forgets, the isolated wetland is only under the bylaw, because that's not a thing officially under the Wetlands Protection Act. So I think it's
Okay.
just better if you approve the findings under the bylaw as well.
Okay, let's rephrase that then. We have a motion to approve the findings under the Wetlands Protection Act and the Burlington Wetland Bylaw
That's fine.
for the property at 85 Wilmington Road.
Second.
All in favor? All right, that has been corrected. Okay, thank you. I think we're all set.
Perfect. No, thank you all. It was a pleasure working with you again.
Nice working with you, Andrew. Next up is our item 6, continued public hearing for a notice of intent at 114 Wynn Street for the Burlington Public Schools to redevelop the playing field at Marshall Simons Middle School, DEP number 122713. Good evening.
You can pull up all the chairs you want.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want another,
I'm good.
okay. Microphone is what I meant.
Okay, please introduce yourself for the record and tell us what you're doing here.
I'll go first. Bob Cuna from the school department.
Arsen Hambar-Zumian, Nestor Engineering.
Kip Aguilera from Nesra Engineering.
Okay?
We're
No.
here regarding the athletic fields at Marshall Simon School, 114 Wynn Street.
And what are you presenting tonight that is different from last week, last meeting?
Well, hopefully, the full plan and updates. We submitted a updated drainage report and plans.
I think Lucy's probably just going to share some plans.
Okay.
No, you can stand up if that's easier, please do.
Thank you.
What would you like us to share?
Either the layout, the grading, or actually the drainage, so C7, I want to say. Let's see. C7, yes, please.
Can it be shown on the other screen, Lucy? Popped up once.
That's BCAT.
Yeah, that's BCAT.
Oh, that's B.
They'll change it.
Eventually, they'll do it, though.
They'll change
Hopefully they'll do, oh, there you go. It's easier for us to see that. Thank you,
They
BCAT.
can hear us, so,
Do you want to put
Great.
down
We have some
the side?
screen problems here, BCAT, so we're relying on you.
and that's not touchscreen, so.
Okay. Since the previous meeting, we went back to the site, did additional test bits, marked out
Just
the
over.
first groundwater elevations, and use that information to revise a bit of the grading. Previously, the turf was inclined at 0.75% slope. Now it's at a 0.5% slope, which then raises the bottom end higher. And we determined that the groundwater was the lowest in this location. So we shifted the rain garden from this location to here and proposed riverfront restoration in that space available there. We reran the calculations, drainage analysis, the supporting documents, and submitted all that information. There was a list of items that was requested to us. We went through that information and provided supporting documentation. Specifically, we have some data on synthetic turf composition and materials, that it's produced PFAS-free and free of contaminants. There was an article that I found interesting that I shared regarding the 6-PPD that is with thin tire crumb rubber. We provided our description of how the crumb rubbers will be retained and protected from flowing downstream and into the environment. We provided a riverfront area waiver justification request and detailed the net benefits that we are proposing, including allowing the previously used wetlands, which are grass fields, to restore back to their natural state, providing a 20-foot no disturb zone in almost all the areas, except for where we have one minor encroachment. Allowing a planting plan that shows riverfront restoration wherever we're able to do so in that larger grassed area that I showed, providing the rain garden within the riverfront area as well, We updated the alternative analysis to show costs and implications associated with the various infill materials. Provided the soil suitability form from the test pits. We updated the WPA Form 3, Notice of Intent. Updated the long-term operation and maintenance plan. Updated the SWIP based on any changes that was discussed. And made sure that all the attachments that we had previously mentioned are all included in the document.
Thank you. A lot of work, great progress. I think we're getting there. And, from what we've seen and a few questions we have tonight, it's possible we can close at the next meeting. So that's kind of what we think will be going on. But let's see. I like the alternatives analysis. It was very extensive and covered a lot of stuff that I appreciated.
Great. And credit to him.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your guidance.
Okay. So let's hear what the staff has to say.
Well, I fully agree with you. This has come a long way. This is looking really good. I love the wetland restoration plans. I like the rain garden. I think it's a much better way of making sure that all of the stormwater gets some sort of treatment. As Bill alluded to, we did have some questions, and I did send you some today in the hopes that you guys would address them in your presentation. But I see that HIP had sent me the answers in writing. So can we go through them?
Sure, yeah, happy to.
Do you want to just, I'm not sure how to deal with this. I was trying to make it quick rather than.
Sure, if you could just prompt me the headers, then I can provide you the.
Absolutely. Well, I had a few questions about the rain garden, and it wasn't necessarily anything majorly wrong. I just wanted explanations on things like why it moved, which you did just address there. Let me just say what they were, and then you can describe. I wondered about why there wasn't a forebay. Maybe it just isn't needed. We just need to hear it. The inlet seems to be quite close to the outlet. I wondered about whether a flared end is even needed on the outlet that's near the stream. And then I see you're saying, the brush field, the possible future tie-in. Do you want to just go through those, or will I just read them out, or what?
Sure. So the rain garden, as I mentioned, we relocated it to be the furthest away from the groundwater to provide us the most separation. Also in the field, we noted that the subsoil at that location was comprised of organic material, which will then help filter out and treat more. So in addition to the organics that we're putting, the existing layer, there was a thick layer of organic material buried there, so it'll work as a double treatment. So that made sense to us. The outlet from the turf goes to the rain garden. There is a flared end there. The reason we don't have a forebay is because the material is filtered through the sand in the turf, and we explained, or we added some language in our narrative where we're going to put the sand first in the turf, then the crumb rubber. So in the turf itself, there's going to be a filtered layer of sand. Then it's going to hit the stone and the drainage material. Then it's going to flow into a filter fabric with 4 more inches, 4/10 of a foot of sand layer, which will flow across, come back up, and then go out to the rain garden. So that itself acts more than a
That is the pre-treatment. Go ahead.
Yes.
The crumb rubber, are you saying the sand is on top of that?
Below it.
It's still below it.
So
Okay,
when they put the turf, they unroll the turf,
Yeah.
they'll do a layer of sand first, about a 1/4 inch thick layer.
Okay.
Then put the crumb rubber on top.
Okay.
I have a quick question. Do you worry about any erosion in the rain garden if there's no forebay?
We have the flared end outlet, and we have riprap.
Okay, great.
I have a question about the
That is a forebay, kind of.
riprap.
In my mind, a forebay is a settling
Yeah.
pond separated with elevation and it goes over, but yes, we do have riprap.
I understand, or I was there, the original application at town meeting was to do the whole project, including that lower field, which is now going to be part of a separate application in the future.
Okay.
My question is, when and if that lower field is developed, I realize it's not part of this application, but will the runoff from that feed into the rain garden, and is it sized to handle all of that?
In my head, the lower field is the higher field, correct? further up, the existing track and turf field?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of lower.
On the diagram,
Gotcha.
on the bottom of the diagram.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Lucy's smiling over
that
there.
has its own drainage system and outflow, and that flows, to the stream. It goes through, from what I know, it's collected, it has a similar system to what we have, where it has the stone underlayer, it has collector pipes, it doesn't have a sand filtering system like we've proposed. But that then flows through a series of pipes and outlets and flows out where our runoff ultimately flows.
That's what it does now.
Yes.
But I'm assuming when we get a new NOI to do that sometime in the future, a year from now or whatever, that, we would like to see the same type of filtration system and treatment that you have in the other fields.
So within the perimeter of the field, the base is meant to stay the same, you just replace the carpet on top. We can certainly put the sand first and the rubber on top, so we'll add some filtering that way. It would be too costly to rip up all the infrastructure that you put in to put new back up. Usually the way turf fields justify their cost is that initial cost is higher than natural grass, but after you replace the carpet a second time, now you're breaking even because you're not replacing all the infrastructure.
Right.
And then the third time, you're actually better off with a turf as far as cost goes.
The runoff from that is currently going by a pipe all the way up
Yes.
and out.
So
Wouldn't you be able to just direct that pipe into a rain garden for that
that
additional
pipe
treatment?
is below our rain garden and would be in the groundwater.
Oh.
So unless we had some kind of a pump system or a way to bring it higher
Okay.
up, the outlets are too low. We can look at right at the turf field and see how much of a drop there is and figure out if there's a way possible to take it from there. But my guess is likely it's too deep.
Okay, so you haven't sized that rain garden in anticipation of an
No.
additional input? Okay, that was just a question I had. All right?
Did you explain the part about the inlet close to the outlet, which I
Yes.
see your wording, sorry, you did. When I meant the flared end, I actually meant at the stream, but maybe at the end. The overflow pipe is what I meant.
The overflow in
Yeah,
the
I'm
rain
saying-
garden.
No,
on
the
the stream
overflow
side.
from the rain garden, that's what ultimately goes to the stream,
Yes.
right?
So the top of that is set at 0.2 of a foot higher. So as the water flows in, it has to disperse over the entire rain garden, fill
Yeah.
up, and then it would flow.
Right.
So if it was just a matter of sheet flowing down and then going out, I would be concerned that if I'm too close, I'm going right out. But with this, I have to build up. So as it fills in, it spreads out in the entire rain garden.
Now, I understand that it's spreading out in the rain
Okay.
garden. I'm saying then the overflow from the rain garden,
Yes.
that goes to the stream.
Yes.
I'm just asking if that needs a flared end, or is there one?
If that needs a, so
Rain garden,
Oh.
this pipe here.
that connects to an existing drain, which then goes out. It connects to a 24 or 30-inch pipe that goes out into the stream.
In the top left corner of
So
that.
it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. We had also wondered, because I've also spoken to Bill about some of this too, about possibly additional treatment in the form of a water treatment unit, perhaps at the end where you're saying, near where that dirt.
Before it goes out.
Yeah, before it goes out, because you were also capturing, you're also capturing,
I'm zooming in a little, I apologize.
you're also capturing
It'll get there, it'll get there. It's slow.
water that's coming from here too.
Only from there. We're capturing that one. The rest of it is getting into,
But that's already existing. Sorry, which catch basin's here?
That's the
so
upper
you
parking
mean
lot.
this catch basin that's in
Yeah.
the parking area and so on?
Well, no, that one.
This one right on the grass.
Field.
Yeah.
And there's one on the slope there, I can't just see it.
Oh, right here.
Probably.
Yeah. And you're proposing to treat that here?
Wouldn't that be the easiest?
I'm gonna come
Because it would
over.
be at the very end before you get to the street?
I'm going to come over and
Oh, that's a good idea. If any of the commissioners want to move, that might be, if you want, if that's easier. Sorry. Continue.
It would be, but I think it's a massive, it would likely be a very massive unit, and it would require calculating all the off-site contributing area to it.
Oh, why would it be such a big unit? Because it's.
So it's
a big hole?
capturing potentially things off the roof, that access road, the driveway, that grass field, all that hill that goes into it, and then the other hill.
So all stuff that's currently discharging into the stream?
Yes, untreated.
Yeah.
Without any treatment. Then
Right,
you
but-
have the catch basin right here.
We're trying to just make improvements where we
This area,
can.
I assume.
Since you're doing work.
Now we're adding to that.
Yes,
Untreated as
so
well.
doing that one, no problem.
Putting a unit in there?
In there, no problem. It's a small contributing area. It will take care of everything within our project. The other one is just such a bigger scope and so much outside that it would be very difficult. And it's a 30-inch outlet at the back end of that, so the unit that would have to treat that kind of volume is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's unfortunate, since there's a great deal of stuff that's going in untreated.
Yep.
It's not actually in the application here,
Correct.
except for that area that I mentioned, so.
Is everybody following what we're actually asking here? You're good? Okay.
But can I recap it just to make sure I actually do? You're talking about a future plan and planning ahead for developing the other field. Is this correct?
No, not really.
here.
We've moved on
No,
from
not
that
for
side.
this. No, we're not even looking at this. Right now, there's a major
You
pipe
can move over.
I think I
that
do.
goes, we're trying to find. okay?
Yep, you're right there.
It
Yep.
comes right across like this and collects stuff over here, it collects from down here, and it all goes straight to the same manhole as these fields go. But this part goes through without any treatment. So if we could put a water
Oh, right.
quality unit there,
Yes,
it
that's
would
true.
treat all of that and then, further treatment as is going on.
Sarah's
The
looking
rain
at it.
garden, the rain heat treatment as it is, but we have no treatment here, so if it was economically feasible, it would be great to put a big water quality unit there and treat all of that water that's coming on. Even though the drainage from here is really not part of this application. The only thing that in this application that connects to there is
Is
this
that.
small catch basin here for this paved area, which I assume is for handicap access to this lower
Correct.
seating. So, okay, so that explains why you can't do that. Well, you said you could put a small water hole in the unit and just handle it.
We could, yeah. Right now, we're proposing a deep sump and a hood in a catch basin. The reasoning behind it was that there's no vehicular contribution to it. It's all pedestrian walkway and terrace seating, and it's a very small area. I could see, if we're worried about bituminous asphalt, it may make sense to go concrete, so it's less of oils coming off of it, certainly initially. But that's kind of a trade-off between a unit or that. I think a typical unit runs around, for something that size, would be a $25,000 purchase. Going to concrete would be additional, maybe $5,000 to $10,000.
I don't have a problem with being concrete as opposed to asphalt, but that has less effluent coming up. Okay, let's talk about that.
That's an easier one? All right.
I'm going to stand here while we go over other stuff so I can see better.
So you can point it all out. Okay. Well, will I just continue with the questions and then we can, that I had, and then we can add more?
Yep.
I pointed out that they had mentioned the mounting analysis, but then it wasn't, it was in the checklist. It looked like there was a mounting analysis, but it said we don't anticipate any issues with the ground mounting, and we'll provide it as soon as it's available. It wasn't done? It's
No, I think we checked that off by accident.
Okay. We had wondered whether, and the answer appears to be yes, I'm seeing. Remember we were talking about, and I can stand up too if you'd like. I think we're talking about over here, we were pointing out that there's no walkway. And is it possible to just make like a little lip or a berm or something just to help prevent?
I understand better. I thought you were worried about the asphalt walkway at the end of the right sides going off.
No.
But if you're talking about the turf,
Yeah.
we have a turf nailer that has a lip to it.
Yep.
Will just increase the height of that lip.
In the areas
On
where
that
there isn't
rock.
a walk, that would be great, thank you.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, notice another site.
Some of these are easy, some of
Another
these,
town that you had sent to me, they had a 4-inch curve, they call it, along the edge in some places to prevent, motion of the rubber.
So there isn't really I mean, also don't want that to be a trip hazard, so there isn't going to be a fence?
There'll be a fence there too.
Oh, right, so
okay.
nobody's falling over that thing, they're falling over a whole fence.
The only thing we might have to do is do a 45 bevel because a sharp corner, so there's a sharp corner like this, turf, you have the fence about 2-3 inches off of that. If someone wants to fall with their head right there,
Yeah.
that could potentially be dangerous.
Well, we're just trying to just make sure that, because that area there,
Bevel it.
don't have
Bevel there will be
asphalt.
fine, which is similar
Yeah.
to what you're doing on the other side. That's a bevel facing, draining towards the walkway.
So there, it's flush with the rubber. The walkway's coming down, but the curb itself is flush, so it's not exposed to injury or head impact in the
No,
corner.
that walkway being pitched to the
Yes.
field not only drains it there, but prevents the rubber from
Mm-hmm.
going out. So that's what's going on for the commission. All the way around everything else, here, here, and here, there's a walkway that is pitched towards the field. So
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not where you're putting the concrete instead of asphalt?
Right, yeah, in front of the terrace seat.
In front of them,
I
okay.
think we're moving too fast for, because we know what we're talking about. If we're jumping through these things too fast, just stop us.
yeah.
Another one that I just pointed out, which they're going to deal with, is just that under the stormwater bylaw, which extends to this too, there is the requirement, since it's over an acre, that you have to just show that you're reducing TSS and phosphorus. It shouldn't be a problem because the rain garden should take care of that. We should just have the figures.
We sent a document, we don't do those often, if you can review it and let us know.
Oh, sorry, the back
I think we're
calculation.
close
Oh, I
to
see it's attached
90%,
now.
something like that, if I'm right, but I don't. So we included
I know,
the
I've only done it.
infiltration, we included the rain garden, we included reduction in fertilizer because you're going from grass to synthetic, so there's no need to fertilize the fields, which was a non-structure reduction in the calculation, and there was one other one. So if I was to add all those together, we were well above the 60%.
88. Well, I'm sure that'll be,
One unit alone was 88%.
right, I didn't think it was going
Yeah,
to
so
not achieve it, just, it wasn't big.
To have it.
That was all.
Sure.
I'm sorry, what was that reduction? in what?
phosphorus, or nitrogen.
Phosphorus, nitrogen isn't in, we're impaired enough for phosphorus that we have a phosphorus, well, everybody has a phosphorus requirement, should I say, everybody in the MS4. Phosphorus reduction and TSS reduction, it's part of the actual MS4 requirements as decreed by EPA. And we have that in our bylaw.
Talking about TSS next.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
One of the things you mentioned in your TSS calculation chart is street sweeping. What is that involve? You don't sweep the fields themselves, do you?
No, I assumed part of the O&M is to walk the sidewalks and sweep any rubber that might have come off of it in the same way they would sweep any. There really isn't anything deleterious that goes on there, but sweeping could be something easy to add to the O&M where you sweep the sidewalk and make sure nothing is
You
going.
could, but I don't really think that that's not what sweeping means when it comes to,
It's more for roadways,
Yes,
the
I'll
salt and sanding, I think, is the
yeah,
sweeping.
it's not really a pathway.
We did
We can
include
delete that. I
sweeping
don't
for
think
the
that's what
parking lot, but
pushes us over the edge or anything. I think we can take that out.
Okay, I don't think it will affect it very
Not
much either.
actually taking out any of the solids either. The suspended solids, that's not picking them up and taking them away, it's just brushing them onto the field roughly.
Probably.
Well, it should be swept, like broom swept and disposed, but I understand your point, and if that's,
But yeah, don't include that reduction
Sure.
in your calculations.
However, even without that, with just the catch basin and
And the rain garden.
they should be easily achieving and the numbers were fine. The numbers were fine.
Very good.
in terms of that removal, though, we did include in the O&M plan to like sweep and, the parking lot area, because we're obviously painting the emergency, like an ADA
Parking space.
a parking space there, right? So,
We're not paving it, we're not redoing it, we're just restriping it.
yeah, so we
But
did
we-
include like sweeping that parking lot area. I don't know if you want that removed off the O&M plan or if you're okay with that.
Yeah, that can fall under the schools. Yeah.
It's probably not going to change the numbers enough to bring them below, so I don't.
you weren't using that 5% reduction.
To get us over.
Part of your calculation.
Bill, did you have more? Because I'm just looking to see, I had a couple of extra things, but
Okay.
beyond what I gave you today, but they're all minor.
I did have one question. These two areas here
yeah, I
are
know.
temporary seating on top of crushed stone.
Portable bleachers,
What is
yes.
this?
Good question. That's also crushed stone. The thought was if they ever needed a storage container to put, one of those metal ones to put their,
That's the
winter
space for it?
equipment, that would be a space for it.
Okay.
It's actually good. Yep.
Yeah.
Can I jump in with one, Bill? Is that all right? Just since I asked you to address snow storage so thank you. But you also put it on the plan, again, good. Where are you expecting that snow to come from?
The what, I'm sorry?
Snow storage.
storage.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting snow removal. You just asked for it, so that
Well, I
could
asked
be
for
a
it
place
to be
where we
addressed
would put it.
just in the.
Yeah, if they ever do, it could be in your conditions that those are the locations that they place them.
Okay,
That way
that's
it's out of it.
But because my understanding, Bob, and you can correct me on that, is plowing isn't actually allowed on the turf field.
What do you mean by that? Not allowed by who? I just want to make sure I answer your question correctly because,
Well, I think the rec department, I know that you guys, and I slightly led you astray on something too, which I'll explain in a second. The rec department does generally manage the fields. However, I think the artificial turf field is actually up to the schools to do. Is that correct?
correct. Yeah, so in response to your question, in the past 5 years, I'm aware of one time that we had a late snow, and there was actually snow that was impacting our play schedule. So we did have a company that comes out that has specialty equipment to move some of the snow and help melt it down, right? So basically, we redistributed some of the heavier snow into the lighter snow areas on the field so we can get it to melt faster. But typically, yes, you're correct. We do
Plowing.
not allow our equipment, recreation's equipment,
Right.
to go onto the fields during the wintertime. We don't plow. We definitely don't want a metal plow digging into it at all.
Right. You
We
don't-
don't put snow blowers on there at all. This was more of a extreme circumstance that, we had
Right.
to take extreme measures on.
And I actually appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure it was being addressed, but now it's on the plan for the future. That's where it goes.
Yep.
You're not going to drag out the plow to clear the field goal like it did.
We do not.
Okay. Did you say you have certification from the suppliers that you will have, that the turf and fill is PFAS-free?
The turf there is no PFAS in the production of the crumb rubber that I'm aware of, but it will pick things up, it could pick things up on the roadway or use. But there is documentation from the turf vendor that they produce it PFAS-free. They can guarantee it's PFAS-free at their facility.
Right.
They can't guarantee when you put it down that there's no PFAS on it. Because it's in the shipping, it's in the packing, it's in the ambient air. So they'll give you test data from their facility that it's PFAS-free. If you put it in and find PFAS, it didn't come from there.
And I believe we included some of that documentation. in the
Yeah, it's
drive.
included in the
It's in there
attachments.
as well for reference. But we'll actually get the physical documents for the particular product.
Right, because it's a
once
public bid,
selected. Yeah.
we make this a requirement. I can't guarantee that the same turf vendor gets the job, but what we can guarantee is that they have to meet equal standards. So
Exactly. That's
Yes.
that's part of what, we just want to be assured that, because it sounded a bit like you had already pre-selected a vendor, but that's not the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think we're okay. I think we just need to think about how we're addressing some of these in conditions. That's why we're not quite at the point of closing and giving all the conditions tonight.
Okay.
Even though I think it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. You do have a port plan for monitoring well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to get sampling if you needed it, because the runoff's not always going to come out that outlet. right? A lot of storm events is just going to stay and infiltrate within the field. So if you wanted to get a sample, you might have to open up that port and
Right.
Correct.
get a sample.
Having the availability to do that is great, and maybe an initial test to see for PFAS, if there's nothing, we don't test again, which I noticed the other community did. They did significant testing first, nothing showed, they said we're done with testing. It's
Yeah,
going to get worse in the future.
The only thing I would recommend is that you do a pre-development sampling or obtain, to come have a baseline so that you know where it came from. You may get a result that did not come from the filter.
But what we were thinking was that the sampling well here is great, and perhaps another sampling well after the treatment of the rain garden would give us some data about the effectiveness of the rain garden. It's
Right, so-
a major thing to put in.
That'll have its own outlet going to the structure, so if we open the structure, we can get it right from the pipe.
Okay,
Okay,
that's fine, that's great.
sure, okay, that makes sense.
That's-
Just get it right from the manhole.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can sample there and see, because that's going to also have all of this stuff coming into it.
Right, so you want to get it just from the
That's going to
pipe.
tell us what's going into the stream, actually. It won't tell us
Yes,
where it's coming from
right.
necessarily.
Well, it should be able to, because when you open them up, you can see all the different pipes coming in.
Right.
Also, you sample from the incoming
Yeah, so
flow.
you can be like, let's grab it from this pipe.
Could do that. Yeah, we talked about
Can I
that.
just comment briefly? So respectfully, of course, I'm not against sampling. My question is that since we haven't done it before and we currently have 2 fields, I'm wondering if we're using this example to create this path that isn't there yet. So I'm slightly reluctant to say that, yes, I agree to want to test when we don't really know what those parameters are. So again, I would almost request that the school department could work with the conservation committee, and obviously the conservation employees as well too, or to figure out like what that structure would look like. And when I say that is because, sure, if we have a predetermined test or we take one right when we finish the project, the question is we don't know what the goal lines are, no pun intended, of now what happens with that test. You know, we can determine maybe in the conditions what we're testing for, but we don't know boundaries as far as high and low limits, what happens, are we shutting the field down? So the thing is that, you know, I think if we could take our time and commit maybe to some initial testing and then maybe defer some of the testing until we can, you know, develop that further, knowing that we also have the means to test, knowing that we have a second field coming up, which would be the front of Brush Field, and then we still have the high school field as well too, so really taking our time to develop what that testing structure would look like and really set us, you know, forward. Again, just for consideration, so,
But we certainly want the ability to do that.
Right.
and we'll have the ability to do it.
And, you know, I don't know if we're in a position to mandate what testing is going to be done, or needed to be done.
How,
Good question.
this is also might be, Sadie probably knows the answer to this. How, is it relatively simple to test for PFAS in water? Are there, you know, limits? Because I know there's a whole lot of them, but there's 6, I believe, that are regulated by DEP, right?
Yeah, there's 6 that are essentially bad, out of something like
Yeah, lots.
32 or 152 or something like that. But there are only 3 types of tests that I'm aware of, and they test for specific things, but the third one has a different threshold which tests for more, but it's a higher, let's say it's something like 1 part per million, while the other 2 go down as low as 1 part per trillion. And so it gets complicated. I did call an expert on that, and I have a bunch of notes. I'm not well-versed enough to communicate it properly, but I think I can arrange a conversation with them or some kind of a,
Can we do that? Can we at least chat maybe offline about what it might look like if we,
Yeah, it'd be important to know what kind of costs are involved.
Right.
first of all.
And of course, the financial burden as well.
we're
Sorry.
not trying to
Right,
impose
so,
crazy, we want to see what's out there and what makes sense.
Yeah.
But the ability to do it is important, because we have the other stuff, is it PDQ,
Yeah.
doesn't know that they really have limits yet, and someday they might suddenly say, hey, now we're gonna limit, and we'd like to say, well, how do we compare? So, you know, things change, limits change, as we've seen over the years, and things you think have been well regulated, now they go, oh no, now it used to be 10, now it's 1, is the limit, so the ability to test, I think, is important.
and I believe a project was completed where they did pre-testing and there was more PFAS prior in the grass. So I think again, it's worth checking what you have to start with.
And we can do that, we can do this as an example here. But not, but the
Well, I don't know,
existing
I don't know how much single tests cost and which one is which, so I'm happy to
Yeah,
hear a
we'll
bit
have to-
more.
Right, we
We
need
haven't
to know
looked into that, quite that level of detail just yet.
Sorry, could I just ask a question? Just because, Bill, you said we could do that test now, but I don't know that we could do that test now because we don't know where the field is draining to.
Well, no,
Well, the grass
even
field.
on the soil, there's PFAS.
Oh, sure. but-
And yeah, I don't know what's contributed to that outlet. If you find it, is it coming from the turf field? Is it coming from the parking lot? Is it coming from the school building? We won't know exactly where it's coming from. I mean, there's,
But in that catch basin now, that's just really the parking lot, not the field.
But that's still going to be going there in the future.
the field
yeah.
does connect to the parking lot and then to that catch basin, one line, and then another line goes to that structure too.
Okay. So that's what I mean. I just think there's a lot of
But-
moving parts on that.
Right.
we need to consider.
You could do the turf and let's say I'm saying an arbitrary number, you check it and it's a 10, but you don't know what you're started with, and you go check it now and maybe you're at a 9, and also it varies from time to time, storm events,
Well, I know what you mean, but
you name it, so it can fluctuate just in the environment
Lucy was saying that it's going to be a certain amount of storm that's required before anything
comes out.
flows into the rain garden.
Yes.
Because the field's going to absorb some of it,
Yes.
it's a big infiltration.
Exactly
chamber,
right.
If you want to call it that. So, it's only going to be times that you can sample when there has been significant.
That's why we put in that sampling well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it mostly, just so everybody understands, is it mostly the 25-year storm? Was that our understanding that's actually getting into the rain garden? So that's a big storm. So everything before that should theoretically be just infiltrating straight down into the soil there. And you do have a couple of feet, I
Yes,
think,
Yes.
between bottom of stone and groundwater.
yes. At the
Right.
closest, we're at 2.3 feet, something like that.
Okay.
But most of the areas are significantly more than that.
And that soil layer that is going to infiltrate through is biologically active and does basically biofiltration on its own underneath the field. Whatever gets down there, and stuff that gets saturated with heavy rain, it starts going elsewhere. The rain garden.
What we noticed from the test pits was that it infiltrates through the topsoil organic layer, it goes into the fill layer, it hits the buried organic layer and builds up. It perches above that organic because it doesn't penetrate the organic quick enough. That's where the depletion had happened. It had taken out some of the color of the soil because it stayed there a bit longer. And that's where we marked out the high groundwater, the fresh groundwater. And so it will do similar thing. It will go in, it'll absorb, it'll slow down a little bit, it'll be stored, and then build up, go through the filters again on the way back up, and then out.
Okay. And one more extremely important environmental question. This is marked out for a possible baseball field as well?
That's not baseball.
Well,
That's not baseball?
No, that's field hockey and soccer.
Okay.
And lacrosse.
Baseball diamond to me, and I was wondering about balls getting hit over there.
Nope.
Not an issue.
There is netting on both sides of that field as well, but it's not for baseball, no.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay?
From a seasonal point of view, this is just a question from out left field. What do you do with the season, like we just are going through ice storms for the most part, these past couple of months? I mean, there's still ice sitting in my garden. And that made me think of this. I think, what are they going through if that happens to a field?
So
Is it something, you have a maintenance thing that goes and that double checks that come springtime?
So the primary benefit of the crumb rubber is that it warms up faster for as far as that side of things. So the organic soils, organic infill that we place, they have that issue in March. It's frozen and you just cancel games. And the crumb rubber does warm up faster. It just, if you had, about half an inch of snow, that'll melt faster and then it heats up and goes sooner. So it's less of an issue with
The term warm,
You've already thought it through.
Yeah.
And the benefit of to this is that when you add lights to it as well, you get almost 3 times the usage from a regular grass field. So because of the sports and the recreational department as well needing this, it satisfies that sort of longer season play aspect of it as well.
A term you just said, warming up, the field warms up, reminded me of something that Lucy was pointing out this week, the heat island effect of this field. Data seems to indicate that it can get, if it's a 90-degree sunny day, that this field can be up close to 200 degrees. Is that what you saw in some
That was,
places?
I think, the highest recorded. I think in general it was something like 170 on really, really hot days.
So
what is
if you point the heat gun at the turf level, you will likely get those readings. As you go further up, it dissipates. So generally, I think at a playing height level, if I remember correctly, it's probably 10 degrees higher.
Oh, okay.
But there is a lot of literature on that. We can certainly provide that data, but that's just that's
It's
the
a
negative
concern.
part of it, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
warmer in hot days, but it's also playable in cold days.
I'll also just add, if I could, so recreation, as well as the athletics department of the school, there's policies for heat index in play. So they carry thermometers. They make sure that if it's over a certain temperature, people need to either get off the field. We typically don't have many days or any days. It hasn't happened, yes, but we typically don't have to shut the field down. But if we have a high heat, let's say a week of 100 degrees, in general, most people don't want to be outside exercising anyways. So of course the turf is going to be hotter. Similar conditions on the grass, not the same extremes, but I guess it's 100 degrees for a week. It's uncomfortable for everybody.
But there's no sprinklers or anything on this, right? It is what it is.
Correct.
There is quick connects for hose connection, so you can spray it down if you need it.
You did say about
The
the
issue
fluids
is
that maybe left before.
Oftentimes it creates, humidity and things at some point too, so it's just field hockey also likes it if you water it down before the game slows down. Or speeds it up, I'm not sure. Speeds it
So,
up.
Bob, when you say you measure a temperature, you measuring the air temperature or the actual field temperature?
There's a whole policy that does both.
Okay.
Right, so if the air temperature is higher than a certain degree, and then the field temperature is higher than a certain degree, then it could either be to delay play until later in the day, or it could be potentially to cancel any scheduled events on the field.
Great.
You know, what is the temperature?
I don't have it in front of me, so I don't want to misquote it, but I can get that
No, that's
for you and share it with you. That's not a new policy, that's been in effect since we've had our turf fields at the varsity field for,
That's good to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
My town, I think, cancels all football practice if it's above 96 degrees, something like that. Regardless of any field, just no football practice.
And in terms of the quick connects, I believe we put 4 all over the both fields, right? So there's anywhere you want to sort of connect and water down, you'll be able to reach the entire field.
96 seems to be high.
It is high. I think it's
So again, all the more reason for that lip that we want to, because, you could be spreading it out.
I'm from Texas, and it gets to like 113, 112, so 96 is
Cool.
Yeah, 96 is cool, yeah. It's suit weather,
But it's a dry heat. It's a dry.
Very true, very true.
Bill has gone through his questions. We've gone through most of ours. Was there anything that we hadn't addressed that you had in your list?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, so obviously nothing that important.
Okay, just to summarize from my end, a lot of those things that we discussed tonight, they did provide in writing, and I will forward it on to you, just so, because we'll all look through it again, just to make sure we're clear on that. But I think really, unless somebody else got a different note, the main things that you're just tweaking is you're going to add that, I don't know what you called it, the lip
Yeah, curbing.
curbing.
Yeah.
You're gonna, I'm not sure what note you might need to change for that, but we were sort of agreeing, I think, rather than putting a treatment unit into the area in front of the seating, that you would just switch it to concrete.
Concrete, yeah.
Those were, I think, the main things that I got that we were adding or changing. Is that correct? Did anybody else make a different note?
I do not have anything else that I can
Did you
see
note something
here.
yourself, Arson?
Commissioners have anything that they want to discuss or raise from this?
It's not going to
Kind
make,
of talked around you instead of with you tonight on that one.
There is
Could you describe about the testing? What do we do?
We did not, just to resolve exactly what
We're
testing needs to be
still wondering
done,
about the
just that we want to be
testing.
able to do it.
I'm going to connect with Arson to give me some information, if you don't mind, about what you found from your guy, or maybe I can connect with him or something as well, just so
Yeah.
we know whether or what, if
He's
any.
very chatty, he loves the stuff.
In that case,
so-
I will have Lucy talk to him. You know what? She would probably love to talk to me about PFAS and testing. And we'll just figure out with the commission what we, but I think, Bill, we can maybe chat to Bob and those guys as we're going along, just about the whole testing possibility.
Yeah, the testing is still not completely resolved, but
Yeah. So-
it's not clear what could be done and what it would mean, what would you compare it to? I mean, all those things are somewhat undefined.
Right. But just apart from those, I think it's all looking to be in pretty good shape for a potential closing issue. Would you agree?
I agree.
At the next meeting, just pending those two things and
Can we make those a
Possible.
condition?
as what, sorry?
That we provide the updated plans with those items? Can we make that a condition? I don't want to,
A condition. Well, we're not in a position to close an issue tonight because we like to to go through the conditions with,
okay.
with you, with everybody.
Oh, that's
Well,
an
sort
opportunity.
of there and then.
okay.
We will have, usually what we do is we draft something and then we can discuss on the evening. Now, that doesn't mean you've got carte blanche to say, no, thank you, but there may be one or two things that are at least.
Did you document anywhere the rationale for relocating the Rose Garden in your package?
For relocating,
The Rose Garden, no.
The rain garden. Yes.
Rose Garden is gone. The rain garden. Is that documented somewhere why you relocated?
in our
it?
response, yes.
Okay,
This is
great.
I'm going to forward this on to you. I'm just wondering how much, I don't want to forward, oh no, I couldn't remember how long was in that whole thread.
Oh, yeah.
How much of it they need. I will forward that on to you either within the next half an hour tomorrow morning. That has a lot of that stuff in writing.
Okay,
That we
great.
talked about tonight.
Just in case the question comes up, we'll have an answer.
Yes. Right? But we don't anticipate it going past the next meeting. It should be.
That's a relief. Thank you.
Could I piggyback on Arson's question, again, without being pushy? So if I understand correctly, you still have plenty of time to review, but with the answers provided tonight and the documents that you have in front of you, if we were to update the two concerns that you brought forward, are there a list of standard conditions that you believe may apply, or are there some that are still in play? And the reason I'm asking that question, because if it was a standard list of conditions, and we were to update those two concerns in the conditions, or the reason I'm asking is because obviously we're on a time crunch. We 100%, thankfully, will work with this committee to make sure we get the perfect package and plan for Burlington. I'm just asking if there is an opportunity to say, we've met some concerns, we've provided the information, there is some tweaking that needs to be done, but we believe it could be minor enough to potentially. Now, again, it's up to the committee and you all to make a statement on that. I'm asking.
To do what, to start work before the next meeting, you mean, to start construction, or?
I would gladly take that answer, yes. I'm just saying if there was a way to either close the hearing.
what difference
Can't start construction because there's an appeal period and then we've got to record the.
No, I get that, but when we.
I think just so they can move on with there's the committee meetings, school and so on, but.
We have is it 21 days? Once we close the hearing, we have to issue in a relatively short time period. So we do not want to do that and then start discussing conditions. We want to feel like I hope you don't mind me speaking
No,
for you.
please.
We do not want to get ahead of this because most of the conditions will be completely standard. They're ones you've seen before, they're ones you've received in other projects that you yourself have seen, Bob. There are just going to be a few that we're going to be tweaking, possibly to do with testing, but we're not sure. That's what we want to just look at.
I figured it was the time to ask because we're here, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. We done for the evening on this topic?
Once you get the approval for the other field, you can do them concurrently.
No, they got to get funding for that.
I know.
So I guess, can I ask about that? Would that be an RDA? What would be the process for that? Because theoretically no
resurfacing?
soil, yeah, there's no soil disturbance. It's
Right.
taking off the carpet, putting in new carpet, new infill.
I would suggest at the very least an RDA, if another notice of intent for the resurfacing, but I'm not sure, that's up to the commission.
I can't imagine it would be nearly as long of a process.
No, it's an existing, and I fully get what Arsen's saying. It's a thing that's existing.
Yeah, if it was just replacing the carpet, I mean, I could see where that would be an RDA, but if there's any changes to the drainage or, grading or anything like that, it might raise it within the riverfront area to another level.
It would be a redoing the carpet and respraying the track.
So really minimal soil disturbance. In fact, in previous projects, we've done quite a bit. At the most, they require like an RDA if they even ask for that. But we understand the regulations with the, intermittent stream in the riverfront. But we're just kind of curious.
Yes.
And if I could address the double field or the second field, so we have the funding for the second field approved already. The reason we have not moved on that field is that obviously we're trying to work on this project tonight. We want to schedule them so that way we only have one field shut down at a time.
Okay.
And the existing field is playable. So we want to continue to use that field, maximize the life out of it, construct the new field. Then once the new field is online, if the timing allows, either this year or next year, early in the spring, or late in the fall, be able to do construction on the existing field.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
but doing them both at the same time wouldn't be ideal, just from a playability schedule.
I mean, they could always, at the time, apply for an RDA, and then we can say yes or no to accepting it at that, or looking at what they're suggesting, say, no, it needs an NOI.
That is true.
Yeah, so, put it in as an RDA, explain why it's that, and then we'll see if we agree with you.
That's true. That's a good one. Just to remind you, I know you know this, but don't you have to go through something with the planning board? MEC or something? I've forgotten what it is.
We do. Also, part of my concern with pushing it out for 2 weeks, because then with the 21-day grace period or waiting period.
No, the 20, that's not, that's our limit. If we're happy at the next meeting, we get ours out Tuesday after. That, we like to be efficient.
Right.
We're not suggesting we're going to drag it out for 21 more days. But I'm also telling you that, are you on the agenda for the planning board?
We're not, because they're waiting for an approved plan from conservation.
Oh.
So that's my concern, and then once that's,
That doesn't sound right. Usually we have them open currently.
Yeah.
I don't have any outstanding issue.
I would reach back out to
Whatever
them.
we have.
I talked to Caleb about that
We now want to...
directly, so I mean,
Okay, well, I would suggest that if he's open to it, they
Outflow
can
of some
apply
of those,
immediately, so
rubber
you can get that
particles.
right.
in there.
And then after
We're happy to tell them that this,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah, and then after all of that, of course, then we have to go to bid, so then there's a
Right.
wait period for the bid, so.
Right.
So I cannot think of anything.
we're not anticipating you not getting
No, I don't think so.
an order.
That's what he was asking.
Thank you. Also, since I'm here, can I take the time to obviously thank the board and thank Lucy and Eileen for all of the efforts and work that they've put in, that you've all put in, the guidance to get us to where we're at. We realize that, A, it's been a long road.
Yeah.
Also, too, the initial plan submitted by myself didn't meet what the community wanted and what the conservation deserves. So, to get to the point that we're at right now, I know there's still some asks that we have from you all, but I think we've made some great success, right? So I hope that, what we deliver to you all agree and support the project. So, thanks.
I certainly agree with that, and you guys have done a heck of a lot more work on this than I have, so it's appreciated, and it has been a continual improvement all the way through the process to get to this point, so.
That will be a significant improvement for sports, like my kids play sports.
Oh, it's a desperate need for these fields. yeah.
That field is just, summertime, it's like gay. So I think it will be, hopefully, based on what I've read and seen.
Yeah.
I agree. But no,
That's the impetus behind the project, of course, is
Yeah.
that, right? I mean, it's a great property, just if we could utilize it better. Yeah, so, again, thank you all.
I just remembered something. I'm sorry. You weren't suggesting any wetland plantings, only in the no disturb. Why?
I think I mentioned it last time, but it's probably not correct, but I just didn't want to do any work in a wetlands because that was triggering the 401.
No, planting wouldn't. And I thought we made that clear at that time.
I think you did mention that, but I'm not, it's digging, it's, but if that's the direction and everybody's comfortable, we're comfortable, I don't have an issue.
Well, my issue was that it's just like turf grass, as in playing turf grass right now. Wouldn't we like to just start it off with something?
It would be nice, yeah.
Even just a few shrubs just to get it going? They have some very nice plantings. Let me open up the plant. The plants should be open. Plants are open right in front of me. Let me just scroll down. Oh, no, it's here. Who did somebody do the planting plan for you?
Landscape architect who worked with Stephen Shamil.
yeah.
And he tried to mimic the plants that are in the riverfront area, in some of the restoration.
I would just propose that you do pull a few of the shrubs or add like 10 more shrubs into the wetland area as well, just to enhance its restoration or speed it along. That will not trigger a 401. Nobody needs to make a big fuss about that one. It'll be okay. And I just wanted to also say to everybody, I don't think you necessarily have an issue with this anymore, but just a reminder that under the riverfront, under the wetland bylaw, we mirror the requirements of the Wetlands Protection Act in requiring that the inner 100 feet be left as untouched as possible and limit disturbance in the riverfront area generally to 5,000 square feet or 10%. They're actually, by necessity, I think at this point, their area of disturbance is more like 50,000. Was that right?
Temporary could be.
Some of it's temporary, so that's the thing. I just want to remind everybody.
A permanent pavement is less than 5,000 square feet.
Total riverfront, yeah, it was around about 50. I'm just saying, you're going to have to vote a waiver for that, so I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with those numbers as well. I think that there are a lot of improvements going in the riverfront. They've got a lot of plantings. The rain garden is nice. They've got a lot of plantings up kind of, is that east of, plan up, what, east of the rain garden. And they've got the plantings alongside and now hopefully another few shrubs in the wetlands as well. So they have made quite a few enhancements.
Plus some of the no disturbance within 20,
Right.
which currently is
True.
not happening now, right?
That's true. That's all true. They're pulling some of the disturbance out. So that is another thing you're going to have to be voting on.
Very good. So we are at a point now to continue to the next meeting. I have a motion to continue this public hearing on the notice of intent for 114 Wynn Street, Burlington Public Schools, playing field redevelopment to our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor? 600.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.
Can I just confirm, or we can do later, but is that the 22nd of January?
Yes, 22nd.
2 Thursdays from now, yes. Well,
Can I call in?
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
I will be here. Just gonna be me and Hip.
Sorry, Jeremy. I'm sure you'll do better than nothing.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've written right here, expo goals and sheets for Gina. I have some of them. We voted to continue, right?
Yes, we did. Unanimously.
I didn't make a note, sorry.
Okay, next on the agenda is administration. Do we have any planning board comments? Do we need to comment to them about this
We
project
will
at all?
be commenting to them about this project
Okay.
because let's just make sure we're all on the same page with that and things get moving as swiftly as possible for their benefit, at least.
Yeah, the planning board might be comforted to know that there's so little left to be done.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they will. They knew today, because we spoke to Caleb, that this was looking to be in good shape.
Okay. Subcommittee staff reports?
I'm not sure what the Gmail addresses falls under. Well, we'll just leave it for other business. No.
Okay, other business.
Well, two things. One, we've got the expo coming up
Oh, yeah.
next week. So Lucy and I are going to be staffing a table, but it's a conservation table, so it's staff and commission. So if anybody wants to come along, to either just to say hi or to volunteer to be behind the table for a short period, that'd be great. We're open to that. Won't be that much room, but it's always nice to have more people to do the talking.
I'll come by.
Great.
I'll be floating around there, so I'll be there, and the garden club, and the buzz table, so,
Kind of busy.
yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure whether to suggest earlier or later. It might be the only one.
It's at the high school
Well,
cafeteria.
whenever we get you, that'd be great.
I'll be
So,
Cool.
I'm coming by.
yes,
Yeah.
you've been there before.
Yep.
And they're promising live music and entertainment with the Shriner Clown Car, or whatever, Shriner Clown Group,
Will the music be loud?
and live animals.
It can get really loud in there. If they've got music too, I'm a bit
What they
concerned.
said,
Oh, boy.
Where's it being held?
It's in the high school again, right?
high school cafeteria,
High
yeah.
school cafeteria.
Two rooms again, like last year?
I assume, yeah.
It was nice and it was a bit more spread out. It was so busy that time before. So we're going to have lots of posters and lovely things, and we're going to be trying to push the trees and tree education while we're at it. We're considering doing a tree giveaway as a little. So tell all your friends.
Where do you
Come
get-
and join the raffle.
We have not figured it out yet.
Like, do you have actual trees to give away in the moment, or like a?
No, it'll be
Coupon to redeem for-
it'll be a raffle, and then if I draw your name, then we'll get you a tree. We'll probably have we might have a choice of 2 or 3 or something like that. We're
Cool.
we're working it out.
Is Larry going to bring up CPA again?
Well, first of all, I don't think Larry's going to be
Too soon?
there, but don't even say that. I
No.
think it's still a sore subject for certain people because
He could put his own table next to the conservation.
it was a difficult time for some people.
Yes.
Okay, the other thing that I have under other business before anybody else jumps in is, some of you have given me the signed sheets for the Gmail addresses, but not Kent or Indra. And can I just get you to just in case you need a paper? Oh, here. Can you just mind signing
Sitting on my
one? Is that
desk at
okay?
work.
No
It's
problem.
sitting on my desk at work.
Well, I'll just give you this one so I have it. Is that all right?
Yep.
And Indra, did you? I think I have ones for everybody else, and then we can just get this moving.
Okay, I have one item. I got a conflict of interest training required.
Yeah.
Is that just the Conservation, does the Conservation Commission get that? Or I didn't know whether I got it because I'm a town meeting member or the Conservation Commission.
Well, every employee gets it, and you just did your conflict
I
of interest.
finished it. It was so
Everybody,
long.
everybody has to do
terrible.
it.
Doesn't that count? I
Okay,
think
you
you
have-
count
okay.
somehow as an employee based on that.
I think appointed
Employees do,
versus
yeah.
elected is a slight difference.
I think there's some,
Appointed,
yeah.
It's a little bit.
It might be-
Well, part of it
If you're
still have to
an
do it.
unpaid employee, yeah, if you're an
Yeah.
appointed commissioner, it's an
Yeah.
unpaid employee. It's a
Like me, like Bill's town meeting, that's elected. I'm on
Right.
school committee, that's elected. So we have to do it every, whatever, year.
2 years, I
2
think?
years.
2 years for the long one and 1 year for a short version of it, something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
it could be right. You could be right. There could be something in there.
Okay, just make sure you get it done.
First I'm hearing
I
it.
think the town clerk.
Oh, you haven't done it at all?
Never. Am I just scandalously out of
no.
compliance?
You want me to ask?
Yes. You mightn't be official
Taking
anymore.
bribes
I can-
all the time.
Oh my
That's a problem.
You want me to reach out to her?
Do you mind if I ask the clerk or if you ask the clerk?
They've changed the format of it. It used to be, you just read it and then click that you read it. Yeah, and read it and then click that you read it. And you can zoom through the reading or just click, click, click. Now it's a video,
And you can't
cannot
speed them up.
fast forward. You have to watch the whole 10-minute video and then check the
And if
few
you accidentally
questions.
click out the tab and
No,
then come
that's
back
one
and
of
starts.
15, 2-minute. It's
So when you do
1
the
hour long.
cybersecurity training for this, you can speed up the things if you want, like 1.5 or something.
Or
just
2 or
2.
maybe 3.
3?
I assume that's off the
Is it
record.
almost on me or on them? That's the part.
I think it's on them to be aware of you, but I'm going to.
I know, so good it is.
It'll
Make
separate.
sure we're not
stuff down.
falling into some kind of crack. Did anybody else not get the conflict of interest notification within the last year?
Did you guys both get the conflict of interest thing in the last year?
Say, did
Probably
you?
no, I think the year
What?
before I did.
Conflict
Well,
of
you've seen,
interest?
I
you've
have to-
seen it, so
Yeah.
you're on the list to get it.
You may have to
Okay.
do it at your work. No, you don't have to do it.
Yes.
at your work, sorry.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna take it again.
Yeah.
I think it's about time.
Oh, maybe I did. I don't know.
All right,
You want me to, I can reach out to, because I have to do my one's pending for school committee. So I can ask her, because I know for another board that, actually, I think Bill's.
Well, no, because I'd rather we just know.
Okay. No, I'm just saying,
It's
like, I think, like,
our-
sometimes for
commissioners.
Rob's point to appointed boards, I think it's like some cases if you.
Oh, no, you definitely have to do it.
Okay.
It'll be a lot easier when
Right?
we all have emails, so they
Right,
can just
sure.
like blast things out to.
yes, exactly.
See?
Every Burlington.org email gets this.
Okay, any other business? I guess not. So upcoming meetings, January 22nd and February 12th. Chairman Cohen will be out again at the next one, so I will be sitting in this seat, and he'll be back for the February 12th meeting. And that's it. We have a motion to adjourn.
That was Sarah's.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, actually.
600. Thank you, and good night.